भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम। Verse number 13. लय विनाशने उभयरोधने लयगतं पुनर्भवति नोऽमृतम् प्राणबन्धनात् लीनमानसम् एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदः नष्टमानसोत्कृष्टयोगिनः कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्थितिं यतः दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मनः चित्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनम् मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विद्यहं मनः अयमहं कुतो भवति चिन्वतः ऐपतत्यहं निज विचारणम् अहमिनाशभाज्यहमहं तया स्फुरतिरुत्स्वयं परमपूर्णसत् इदमहं पदाभिख्यमन्वहम् अहमिलीनके प्यलयसत्तया विग्रहेन्द्रिय प्राणधीतम नाहमेकसत् तज्जडं ह्यसत् सत्त्वभासितका चित्त्ववेतरा चित्सत्तया हि चित्तया ह्यहम् ईश जीवयोर्वेषधिभिदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्. Yesterday we saw the entire Jagat is Drishyam, is subject to objectification. That which is objectified, that which is revealed because of me is called Jadam. Jadam means that which is not self-shining, that which is not self-revealing, that which is not self-existing. So Jagat is Jadam, entire world. Not only the world, but this gross body is also objectifiable. Also is revealed gross body, prana, my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, my memory, my knowledge, everything is revealed by me. Therefore, all of them are jadaha. And they are asat. Asat doesn't mean non-existence. That which is not there in the three periods of time is not asat. For that we have word tuchha. What is asat? That which is because something else is. Okay? That existence of a thing is because of something else. That means that easiness of that thing is a borrowed easiness. Like even chain is. The easiness of the chain belongs to the gold. So also that therefore the chain is called asat. And another word for asat is mithya. Understand? When we say mithya, we don't say it is not there. We only mean to say it is, but its existence is borrowed existence. When we use the word mithya for something, it is not the vastu per se. We call it mithya. We are talking about the reality of that vastu. We are discussing about the existence of that vastu. That thing is, because it is in a borrowed existence, therefore we call mithya. When I say pot is mithya, I don't mean to say there is no pot. I don't mean to say pot is useless. Pot is useful to drink. It is the thing that you require to hold the water. But then the reality of the pot is mithya. Therefore, I had told when I taught you Tattva Bodha, mithya is an ontological word. Maya is also ontological word. Ontology is a branch of physics which talks about the reality of the vastu particles. So also here asat is mithya. We are talking about reality of the thing. Vigrahendriya, pranadhitamaha, all of them are asat. Why? Because they are all there because I am. And without me, they are not. And because they are assembling. Sukshma Sharira is also an assemblage. Sthula Sharira is also an assemblage. That assemblage is there because of me. It's for me. And therefore we call them asat. They are asat. Now he concludes this section by saying the next verse. Please look at the next verse. Sattvabhasika chitvvetara sattaya hi chittaya hyayam sattvabhasika chitvvetara sattaya hi chittaya hyayam. Sattvabhasika, to reveal Sat, to show, to illumine the Sat. Etara Chitkva, is there any other consciousness? Is there any other awareness? To reveal the Sat, is there any other Chit? And the second line is Sattayahi Chit, Chittayahi Sat. The awareness, Sattayahi Chit, the existence is awareness, and awareness is existence. Earlier verse, and that is Aham. Chittaya aham. Sattaya hi chit, chittaya aham. I am that consciousness. In other words, where is there any other consciousness? Is there any other awareness to reveal or illumine the Sat? It means there is no other consciousness. Sattaya hi chit, that Sat alone, that existence alone is Chit, consciousness, and that consciousness is I. Earlier verse we saw Vigrahendriya Pranadhitama. The ignorant person, the Ahankara, the Jiva, the individual, when he or she, when that individual reveals, let us use the word its identity, because it can be he and she both. When it reveals its identity, all that identity is dismissed as asat. The earlier verse we saw. Because when I reveal myself, I would say I am a man or a woman. I am this born on this date, such and such a date. I am this much is my age. I am of this region belonging to this nationality and this caste and this creed and this relation, and I am happy or unhappy, or I'm engineer, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a executive, or I'm a president, whatever you say. All that is from the standpoint of what? Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha. With reference to body, with reference to prana, with reference to manas, with reference to buddhi, with reference to your ahankara, you reveal yourself. They are all asat. And they said asat is mithya. So as of now, the self-identity is mithya. But who are you then? They are all what? Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha Naham. But I am Ekam Sat. I am existence, which gives existence to all of them. And this existence is not Jadam. Why do I say so? It's not Jadam. Because my self-existence reveals itself. Understand? Like I told you, to reveal the color, to reveal the form, you need eyes, mind, buddhi, etc. All of things are needed to reveal them. But to reveal myself, I shine by myself. I know I am. Yesterday I told you the fire is hot because it is hot. And it cannot be otherwise. Similarly, I am conscious of my existence. I am my existence is self-evident, self-revealing. Why? Because I am like that. So that existence, that I, because of whom all of these are there. Sthula Sharira, Prana, etc. borrows existence from me. And that I is self-revealing. Aham asmi, aham bhami. I know and I am. I don't need any agency to reveal myself. Sattva bhasika, chitva kedara. Is there any other awareness to reveal the Sat, to reveal my existence? My existence is self-revealing, self-evident fact. Therefore, I am not Jadam. And since I am not Jadam, understand the word Jada. Since I am not Jada, I am not Drashya also. I am the subject. Yad Drashyam Tad Jadam. I am the subject, and therefore he says, Sattaya hi chit. That existence itself is consciousness, awareness, or that awareness is existence. In fact, this is the cause, the root of all the problems. I is self-existing, self-revealing fact. I am aware of my existence. That is, in that self-awareness, there is ignorance, and therefore there is ahankara. Exactly like in the rope awareness, there is ignorance, and you take it as a snake. So also this self-existing, self-awareness is always there. I am self-aware about my existence, and that somehow anirvachini agnanam comes in, and I take myself to be other than what I am. And that ahankara, because it is superimposed on self-existent, self-revealing fact, also becomes self-existent, self-revealing. Because the qualities, in a way, this is not a correct word. When the snake is superimposed on the rope, and if rope happens to be 6 feet long, snake will be 6 feet long. It cannot be 3 feet or 12 feet. And because it is superimposed on the rope, the adhyaropa is of the size of the adhisthana. And the curves of the rope, the curves of the snakes are nothing but the curves of the rope. Its all qualities will come to snake. And therefore, since ahankara is superimposed on self-existing, self-revealing consciousness, ahankara also becomes self-existing, self-revealing. And atma is sat swarupa, nitya swarupa, ahankara also becomes nitya. But then, in a way, it is anitya. Why it is anitya? Because the cause of ahankara, in between there is ignorance. If ignorance is removed, ahankara is gone from it. So you will find these two statements, self-contradictory statements in the Gita, 15th chapter. Some of you have been studying and memorized the words. Urdhva moolam adashakham ashwattham prahuravyam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavid. This samsara is ashwathaha. Shvaha means tomorrow. Shvathaha, that survives, that exists, that remains tomorrow. That means which is always there. And ashwathaha, that will not be there tomorrow. That is impermanent, perishable, destructible. So he says, in one verse, Bhagavan says, samsara is vinashi. And then in the next verse, he says, nanto nachadir nacha sampratistha ashwathamenam suvirudhamulam asanga sastrena dradena chitva. There is no beginning and no end to this samsara. Because ignorance has no beginning. You cannot say ignorance began, and ignorance also has no end on its own unless it is cut asunder by knowledge. The light of knowledge finishes the ignorance for good. Therefore, it is vinashi also. So this ahankara is superimposed on Satchidatma, and that satta is chit. And who is that Satchit? Aham. That is me. I don't need any agency to prove my existence. Even in deep sleep, as I explained to you, when there is an experience of no experience, everything is covered by ignorance. Still, I am aware about the ignorance. That I is there. I shine by myself. And therefore, having woken up, we say, Nakinchit maya avedisham, sukhena maya swapsam. I slept like a log of wood. Sometimes when somebody says, I wonder, you are in a waking also like a log of wood. The mind is non-thinking and he is stubborn. You are in waking like a log of wood. In sleep, you are a real log of wood. You, not like you are. Anyway, coming back to this, I knew that I didn't know anything. It is an experience of no experience. I am aware about it. That consciousness is I. That is not separate from me. I am that vastu. And that is, he says, chittaya hi aham. I am that consciousness. Now, new section starts here from verse number 24. This is here you can say now the Mahavakya is being revealed here. Mahavakya means not the sentence which is big. Mahavakya means, Vakya means sentence, and Mahavakya means a sentence which reveals identity between individual and total, between Jiva and Ishvara, and Samasti. It reveals identity. In other words, listen this. Mahavakya means that which reveals identity between Vyasti and Samasti. The same sentence can be put in other words, or this sentence can mean this. Mahavakya means that statement which reveals that it is only one vastu that expresses its Vyasti and Samasti. Like ring is gold, chain is gold, is a Mahavakya. This one individual chain is all total gold, is a Mahavakya, individual and total. But what does it mean? It is only one vastu that is golden brick, and that is the ring. Or still better example, wave is ocean. From the substantive point of H2O, wave is H2O, and ocean is H2O. That is a Mahavakya. Vyasti individual is Samasti total. Wave is ocean. But what does it mean in other words? It means it is water only that expresses itself as a wave as well as ocean. There is nothing but there is nothing called ocean, and there is nothing called wave. The same water in this form is called wave, and the same water in this form is called. So Mahavakya means it reveals the identity between individual and total, or Mahavakya means it reveals the entire creation. Subject-object relations and subject-object, experiencer, experience, everything is only expression of one vastu. That is Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Or that is Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Everything is nothing but Brahman, one vastu. Neha nanasti kinchana. There is nothing else other than Brahman. This is Maha. Okay. Now see this verse number 24. Isha jivayor veshadibhida satsvabhavato vastu kevalam. Isha jivayor veshadibhida satsvabhavato vastu kevalam. Isha jivayor veshadibhida satsvabhavato vastu kevalam. Isha jivayoho, among the two, between the two. Who two? Isha and Jiva. Isha means the Lord, and Jiva means the individual. Between the individual and between the total and individual, Veshadhi Vida. Vida means there is a division. But from what? Veshadhi Vida. Vesha means costume. What does the costume do? Given costume makes an appearance, of something to be other than what it is. Let us say an actor wearing a costume of a beggar. What is the role of costumes? It's because of the costume, the actor appears to be beggar. Okay? Means costume makes him or her appear to be different than what it is, and sometimes opposite to what it is. That's the job of a costume. So, an appearance to the effect of what other than what it is not. That appearance is caused by Vesha. And therefore, and another word, now listen this, another word for Vesha is Upadhi. Okay? Costume makes an appearance of actor A to be beggar B. Just because of the dress, the fellow appears to be beggar. Other than what he is. In fact, he is a rich guy, being an actor, successful actor. So also Upadhi, it creates an appearance of something else other than what it is. Our classic example is a crystal and a red flower besides it. The red flower makes the crystal appear red. The redness of a crystal. You say that, look at this red stone, red crystal. That redness is not intrinsic to crystal. Redness doesn't belong, but crystal that gets an appearance of redness, which in fact doesn't belong to it. Crystal gets redness, which is not intrinsic. It is not swarupataha, but there is an appearance. And, Veshadhi, Dhi means when you see them, or when you actually not simply seeing, I will explain, but when you evaluate them from the point of view of Vesha, they are different. Exactly like an actor plays a double role. Two sons of one mother, siblings. And then they were born on same date, not same time, but 1 or 2 minutes here and there. Got separated. One was adopted by very rich person. Another was made to beg. Same person in that movie comes as a beggar, some dialogues and some scenes he plays as a beggar. And the same person in the same movie comes as a rich guy and plays the role of a rich man. There is Veda between the two. Division, differences only when you take the costume to be real. The movie may show them that they didn't recognize each other. They just passed by from each other. But from day one, from the very starting point, that this when the twins are born and twins are separated, the story So Veshadhi Vida, the division between the two becomes real when you give reality to costume, or when you evaluate them from the standpoint of the costume. When you see them, when you know them from the point of view of the costume, then there is a duality. But then if you don't see from the costume point of view, from the actor point of view, Give up the costume and see the person. Veshahanataha satsvabhavato vastu keval. Next verse, Veshahanataha swatma darshanam isha darshanam swatma rupata. They are one. So Vesha means costume, Vesha means appearance, and that when there is appearance, it is called mithya. Appearance is never real. Appearance of that beggar is because of the dress. So that beggarness is borrowed from the dress, that Vesha. So it is mithya. Okay, now let us see the verse. Isha jivayoho vesha divita. What is Ishvara darshanam? What is seeing Lord? Swami Dayanji, once, I've heard him 2-3 times. The word Lord or the Lord per se, Bhagavan or God, is most abused word. Why is it most abused? I'll tell you the reason. When I say, suppose I say watch, wrist watch, then all of us, this word has some common concept or knowledge about by the word watch. What is revealed, there is something common in all of us. At least you know that which shows time. And when you say wristwatch, that means which is worn on the wrist. That much is clear. Then company may differ, the shape of the dial may differ, all can differ. But when I say mobile, there is something common that which connects me with the world away from me, by facially, audio, video, you can say. But when I say Lord, when I say Bhagavan, each individual has a different concept. Even you may arrive at some common, like those so-called faithfuls have a common concept of God. One may say, my God is in heaven. And whatever that religious text, theological text describes, he takes it God. A Hindu may say, my God is Rama, and there may be 10 Rama Bhaktas. There may be some 100 Shiva Bhaktas and 1,000 Mataji Bhakta and some 10,000 Krishna Bhaktas. So there is some common, but in individual mind, what is Krishna? In all those 10,000 guys, what Krishna should do and what he should not do is subjective. God word has a subjective meaning. That is, anyway, let us understand what is Ishvara Darshanam. Now, if that Lord, which is taken to be by birth, and all religion validates it, as I said, that it is away from me. It is different from me. That is how the Lord is taken, Bhagavan. I will use the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan is taken to be someone who is away from me. And the religion tells us that he is far away, somewhere in some place up above in the sky, like a diamond, twinkle, twinkle, little star. He is somewhere away, and I have to gain him. If that is the ultimate, I'm not saying that is not the Lord. Please don't misunderstand. If that is the Swarupa of Ishvara, that means I have to gain him in terms of time, in terms of space, as well as in terms of objectivity. I have to go there. And even if I go right now, Travel will necessitate some time. You have to get it time. It's a different place. And certainly I have to go there in a different form. No? You cannot go with this body. Scientifically, we can say you cannot go because moment you die, this starts disintegrating. And generally, I would not like to go also with this body because I'm gonna to die after 5, 10 years. By the time I'll be too old to go there. What is the point in going to heaven with a old body where all the dishes are served and I cannot eat? I have a diabetes and then I have a calorie consciousness. I don't like to go there. So nobody would want to go an old man to heaven with old body. And therefore we are clean. You burn the body and the Jivatma goes. They say, no, 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 you are buried. And on the day of judgment, today is simple science. If you are buried underneath, after some years, at least after a decade or so, there will be few bones left there. Everything will be absorbed in Mother Earth and everything will evaporate. You cannot go with this body. At least if this body, this is important argument, okay? You should know. And you should tell them, if I have to go with this body, I would first like to caution the Lord. Oh Bhagavan, you may be all Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, omniscient, omnipotent, but be careful. Nowadays, so many are coming, they are all corona patients. So we will spread pandemic in heaven, in the God's abode, because all these corona guys are going to heaven with those bodies, and they are going in thousands daily out, at least in entry time itself. Somebody, and quite a few of them are old guys, will sneeze and talk and all that. So whole heaven, Bhagavan himself, his R&D also must be busy finding out vaccine and tablet to prevent corona. So I have to request him, should you find earlier than us, please help us to give. And if we find, we will help you out. It's not with this body you can go to heaven. These are all fairy tales. Sadehe, she, Mirabai, I remember having seen movies in the childhood. When I was a child, the movies were quite a few movies, were Bhagwan and Bhakta movies, Raja Harishchandra and Mirabai and Narsi Mehta and all the stories we saw the movie. And then Mirabai was Krishna, Krishna, and Krishna is playing flute and there is light and she just merges into Krishna, disappears into Krishna's body. If he were to achieve him in terms of time, space, and objectivity, that achievement would be ephemeral. Anything achieved in time T1 will come to end at time T2. Any place you reach at given time, place P1, you will have to vacate place P2. And any kind of body that you hope to get there, having gone to heaven, you will have a divine body. If it is born at time T1, it will come to end. So it cannot be permanent. Okay? Now, listen this. Some forms are given to us, a desired form of Krishna or Shiva or Durga or Ganesha or Mataji or any or Kartikeya. In Mataji is also various forms they have. Krishna also various forms they have, like baby Krishna, Laddu Gopal Krishna, and then another young Krishna moving with a coward Krishna, and then Dwarkadish and Ranchodra and all kinds. Suppose you have a darshan of Krishna, or Rama or Shiva, how are you going to recognize that this is the Shiva? We have stories. This Bhasmasura, when Asura propitiated Shiva and sought a boon, Lord said, come on, ask. Thy wish will be fulfilled. He said, give me power that I can burn anyone to ashes on whose head I put my head. If I put the hand with that thought, that thing should be reduced to ashes. It should be burnt to ashes. Lord Shiva said, Tathastu. Then he was happy. He had done a lot of penance. And the Lord Shiva appeared. He said, Tathastu. And he was happy. Then suddenly a thought came. Wait a minute. Are you a real Shiva or fake Shiva? The Lord Shiva had to vouch. No, I am original Shiva. I am not like Paramatmananda, local Paramatma. I am original Paramatma. He said, I am Shiva. He said, let me experiment on you itself. If you are real Shiva, let me try. Poor Bhagwan had to run and Vishnu had to help him out as usual. He came in a Mohini and deluded and things like that. That's a story part. But the point is, how are you going to recognize this is Bhagwan? Just your belief. You have to trust. And that's why today in India, so many people pass by as Bhagwan. Because some fellows believed him to be Bhagwan. It's a belief. They thought him to be Bhagwan and he happened to have some trick. Bring out something from the thin air, some gold and do something. So trickster can be taken as Bhagwan also. India is full of such Bhagwan. Even now. And some of the Bhagwans have gone by also. They have died. Those Bhagwan. And they claim themselves to be Bhagwan. Recently, about 4 or 5 months ago, we had one Bhagwan in Andhra Pradesh. And income tax raided him. This is modern Bhagwan, Local income tax can raid him. Lakshmipati. Bhagwan is a Lakshmipati. That is being raided and questioned by local income tax. And he used to claim, I am the Kalki avatar of the Vishnu and his wife is Lakshmi Sakshat. And therefore, they said, we want to check your accounts. 1,400 crores of rupees. Millions of dollars. And some gold, all unaccounted. He could pass by as a Bhagavan because people believed in it, That's not Bhagavad Darshanam. When I say I saw the Lord, even if you see him, even if you have dialogue with him, people crave for it. I should have dialogue with the Lord. But then that vision will be subjective vision. It will be temporary vision. And even if it may last long, you don't change. You don't change. We have so many demons who did lots of penance. They had a vision of Bhagavan, but they continued to be Rakshasas. All of them got boons. Hiranyagarbha, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, all of them. Asuras. They had darshan of Bhagavan. But then, that darshan didn't make them any wiser. And that darshan, as I said, is a subjective. Subjective lines in a shastric word. When I talk about the reality of that darshan, that is pratibhasik. Even if you say, I had darshan, others have to believe you that you had a darshan. And I would say, you also believe yourself that you really had a darshan. It can be projection of the mind also, you never know. It can be a bhava. Like in Navaratri we get, people get Mataji. And they say all kinds of things. In Saurashtra, there is a belief when the Mataji comes, the bhava, the person is captured with that bhava. Then you should seek the boon and you should seek the blessings and Mataji will bless you with whatever you want. I know that couple, that lady every time used to get bhava. So many people asked for some favor, and questions what will happen to my daughter's marriage and will my daughter-in-law deliver a boy or a girl. And Mataji used to say, sometimes by a simple law of probability, some were true and some were didn't come true. So as it happened that her husband was not doing well in business for 8, 9 months. And so all his friends all pushed him to, now you ask Mataji. She was in that Baba, his wife. They said, go, ask Mataji. For 3, 4 days, his male ego prevailed upon, why should I ask? Because you have to ask with folded hands and do pranam with Mataji, etc. And this fellow didn't ask. But finally, he was really in a soup in his own business. And he wanted to way out, and then he broke down and he asked. And the Mataji gave blessings. Tera kalyan ho jayega, bachcha. And not simply verbally, she gave him a bang. She must have taken revenge. People said so. And she was unaware of it, actually, blissfully. It may be a state of mind. You start conducting yourself. And the mind itself is very deceptive. It is very cheating. So, I am not against, please don't misunderstand, that darshana can be very fulfilling, very satisfying. That so-called experience of Bhagavad Darshana may be very absorbing. You may feel ecstasy. But understand, any given experience per se, when you are an experiencer and something is experienced, cannot give you lasting fulfillment, can never give you lasting happiness. It is like going to Colorado. My God, what a sight, what a sight. It may be an absorbing. And you keep remembering, or going to Kailas. It's very absorbing experience. We had it. And we had some chamatkaras also. Some gifts we got while many things happened. You remember. But the ecstasy and the joy that you had at that moment, it didn't last. Your own mind sought some different kinds of joys. And that time, when you had this experience of taking bath in Manas Sarupa, Sarovar, that lake, and doing puja, and that morning sun, and all that feeling, it was so absorbing feeling, ecstatic feeling. It's grace, I would say, that we had it. But then, human mind, once that got over, now when we remember, it was great, but in between, we had nth number of reasons to be dukhi. We had nth number of incidents wherein we felt incomplete, insufficient, not at home. We were nth number of things for which we are wanting today. You feel that I don't have this. There is all, even after that darshanam, you have a feeling, oh, Lord is not kind to me. My luck is bad. Bhagavan is not favoring me. So please understand, from your own experience I am talking. I am not belittling such experiencing. Please don't misunderstand. I am trying to tell you is that absorption cannot last if it is experienced by you. That absorption cannot give you permanent fulfillment. If you were a different person who experienced it, and that is again a subjective. All of us were ecstatic about this yatra. And quite a few of us felt that we should come again. It's worth going again, worth traveling again. But then the priorities change. 3 years passed by. Yes, it is worth going again, but so many things we did in between. So absorption, that vision of the Lord, that absorption also is subject. The degree of absorption, the degree of fulfillment, degree of sense of gratitude you may feel is subject. It depends from person to person. And like the law of diminishing utility of economics, it will keep on diminishing. Secondly, as I say, please don't misunderstand. I would like to repeat this. But you should be clear about the limitations of such experiences. In fact, Lord Himself doesn't want this. We seek Him in this way, that subjective was vision. But even when He was there in this objective world, as an object to be experienced in the form of Rama or Krishna, even then He studied Shastra and made others to study Shastra. The gopis who are the great bhaktas, there is no bhakta better than gopis, they say. Even for them, He sent Uddhava to teach them some Shastra. This is mentioned in Mahabharata. And he, Arjuna, he taught it. This subjective experience of the Lord remains subjective. Why is it subjective? Moment you are out of that experience, how do you account for this objective world? When you have vyavhara, when you interact with this objective world, when you do your day-to-day transactions, one has to see the Ishvara there also. You cannot remain in that ecstatic bhava all the time and keep conducting yourself. You may do that. Nothing wrong in it. In India, you can do that for a long time also. People will look upon, your devotees will support you. But that's a partial darshan of the Lord. You have to see that Bhagavan as the objective world also, because the objective world also is His expression. It is He who is appearing as the objective world. And the different laws, the order in the objective world, sun and the moon and the river and the mountains and the clouds and the oceans and everything, even the mosquitoes and ants, are His expression. We need to see the Ishvara of this objective world also. And unfortunately, this is that objective world over which I have no control. And in that day-to-day interaction, when I have no control, certain unpleasant things happen, there is a fear, there is anxiety, there is a worry about my near and dear one. Then again you seek Lord. Oh Bhagavan, I am your bhakta, therefore help me out this. Because I have not seen the Lord with reference to the objective world. You have to see the Ishvara as the very order of the objective world. And as I said, even if this is purely subjective darshanam, but then that darshanam, whether subjective or objective, even objective darshanam cannot change the person. All the Rakshasas remained as Rakshasas. The psychological limitations, I would like to use this word, which was often used by Pujya Swamiji. When I interact with this objective world, there is subjectivity. Let me define the word subjectivity. You know what is subjectivity? There is resistance to what it is. Resistance either in the form to change because it is unpleasant to me, or resistance in the form of fear because it is something which is dear to me. That should not go when I want to hold it on. That's again resistance. It may go away, so that's okay, it's His design. It is not simply, subjectivity with reference to situation. There is a resistance to obtaining situation in life, and there is a resistance in relationship, in people's personalities, their weaknesses, their values, their attitudes. I resist. In the name of idealism, in the name of propriety, in the name of dharma, it's okay. It is wrong, but help the person to correct it, not resist. When there is resistance, there is a rejection of the person. When you see the Lord of the objective world, there is no resistance, no subjectivity, and no rejection of the person. That is a freedom. That is ecstasy. That is absorption. Suspension of my dukkha, suspension of my sense of limitation, suspension of my sense of self-dissatisfaction does take place when you have a vision of a Lord in a given form. Everything gets suspended. Like all of us had an experience, everything was suspended when we were in Kailas. All complaints about spouse and children and family and my boss and my subordinate and my house and my money and my everything got suspended. All these days I was so absorbed in it. But then the self-dissatisfaction is always born out of resistance to the objective world. And that resistance to the objective world is there because I don't see the Lord of the objective world. The darshana of Ishvara is subjective darshana. That vision of the Lord is being subjective. I have to see the Lord of the objective world also. And that is Veshadhivida. That discussion, we'll take it up further tomorrow. Next Saturday, and I will continue. But I repeat, I'm not censuring or condemning the vision of the Lord. You may work for it. You may have it. I wish also that you may have it, enjoy it, and get absorbed in it. But then you have to account for the objective reality. Moment to come out of that absorption, there is a world outside. You have to relate and relate in its own way. You may get some privileges because you had a vision and people believe in you. But then you have to deal with this objective. And you have to deal as per the rules of the objective. And therefore you have to see the Lord of the objective world also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. One thing I would like to share